Now that I have a super smooth banana smoothie, basically, golden little nugget of deliciousness, like a little firework in your mouth. Off to a rough start, aren't we? That is a true treasure. Hey guys, let's make some more muffins. Today we're making another recipe from the Thug Kitchen Official Cookbook, and today we're going with peanut butter and banana nut muffins, although I'll be leaving the nuts out. But either way, we're going to start by preheating our oven to 375 degrees and then either greasing or lining our muffin tin. Alright, go ahead and set your muffin tin aside. We're going to take a medium bowl and mix together our dry ingredients. So this recipe calls for 2 cups of whole wheat pastry flour or all-purpose flour. I'm going to do half all-purpose and half whole wheat. So there's our 1 cup of whole wheat flour. And there's our cup of all-purpose flour. Remember to spoon your flour into your measuring cup so that we have nice, light, fluffy muffins. To our flour, we are going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And a half teaspoon of salt. And we'll give that a whisk or a stir. And then go ahead and set that aside. So for our wet ingredients, we are going to need some mashed bananas. And the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of ripe banana. And they say that's about 3 regular sized bananas. I don't know what regular sized means, but you know what? This is what we're going with. Now, some people like nice big chunks of banana in their banana bread or the banana muffins, and some people don't like the chunks. And so if you like the chunks, mash less, and if you don't like the chunks, mash more until you have a smooth consistency. And I like them both, but today I'm going to go with a smooth banana consistency. And so to get that, I'm actually going to use an immersion blender and get our bananas nice and smooth. If you don't have an immersion blender, a fork or a potato masher works great as well. Alright, perfect. Now that I have a super smooth banana smoothie, basically, we're going to set this aside also just for a minute, and we're going to cream together our peanut butter and brown sugar. So we need 1/2 cup peanut butter, 1/2 cup brown sugar. So you want to use creamy peanut butter. I guess you could use chunky. There'd be nothing wrong with using crunchy peanut butter. And it does not have to be natural. This is just what I have. So whatever kind of peanut butter you like to eat, go ahead and use that. But I'm actually going to add my brown sugar before I get my measuring cup dirty with peanut butter. So a 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. The recipe says light brown sugar. I have dark brown sugar. I don't think it's going to make a big difference. So use what you have. Now back to our peanut butter. Alright, a healthy 1/2 cup of peanut butter in with our brown sugar. Now, if you have a hand mixer, that would be a great tool to use to cream together our sugar and peanut butter. But if not, doing it by hand will work perfectly. It'll just take a little bit longer to do. Now our recipe says to mix it together until the sugar and peanut butter looks kind of creamy. I don't know if that looks creamy, but the sugar and the peanut butter seem to be incorporated pretty well. So I'm just gonna go with that. If you're using a hand mixer, I think you'll achieve that creamy texture look. Now we're going to add the rest of our wet ingredients. So now we add our banana smoothie, basically. And to that, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of, the recipe says non-dairy milk, but if you have cow's milk, go ahead and use that. That's just fine. 1/2 and 3/4. And then our last wet ingredient will be vanilla extract, and we need 1 teaspoon of that. Now stir it all up. Now I actually kind of like that there's little chunks of peanut butter and sugar still in there, because when you bake your muffins and you bite into one of those little chunks of banana and sugar, it's like this golden little nugget of deliciousness, and it is like a little firework in your mouth. So if you still have chunks of peanut butter and sugar in there, I wouldn't worry about it. Once you have your wet ingredients nicely incorporated, now we're going to add in those dry ingredients that we mixed together first. So you can do this all at once, or you can dump it in batches. I'm going to put about half of my dry ingredients into my wet ingredients and then mix it all together and then add in the rest of it. So stir in gently. We don't want to overmix, because overmixing makes our muffins tough, because it starts to develop the gluten in the flour, which is a little extra tidbit, and the gluten makes whatever you're baking chewy. So it's good for bread, but we don't want it for muffins. And mix those all in nicely. Make sure you give the bottom of your bowl a nice little scrape, just to make sure all of your dry ingredients are mixed in. Now, this is the part where if you want to add some chopped pecans or some chopped walnuts or even some peanuts in there, go ahead and fold in your 1/2 cup of nuts. And I just don't care to, so I'm not going to. An additional option that the recipe doesn't suggest is chocolate chips, because banana and peanut butter and chocolate, I mean, how could someone resist? If you want chocolate chips in there, go ahead and add in a 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. Once you do that, we're gonna go ahead and fill our muffin tin. So this recipe made quite a lot of batter, so I'm going to be using a 1/3 cup measuring spoon to fill our muffin tins, and I'm going to make them heaping cups. And don't do what I did. Try your best to get your batter in your muffin cups and not on the muffin tin. Off to a rough start, aren't we? That's okay. And we'll clean the rest up later. Now I overfilled my muffins a little bit, so I have to borrow from the muffin bank. That's okay. No worries. That worked out pretty well. All right, so if you're so inclined, give your batter a taste, because it tastes delicious. All right, let's clean up our muffin tin a little bit, just so we don't have burnt on batter. I'm all about easy cleanup, and burnt on batter is not easy cleanup. All right, so our muffins are ready to go into the oven for 18 to 22 minutes. Like always, we're gonna start with 18, check them, and put them back in if they need more time. 18 minutes later, wow, let me tell you, it smells like a combination of banana bread and peanut butter cookies in this kitchen. It is wonderful. So if you have a cake tester, get yourself out a cake tester, and if not, a toothpick will work in a pinch. So let's look at one of our biggest muffins and give it a poke. Can you see that? There's quite a bit of batter still on my toothpick. So these bad boys are gonna go back in for probably 2 minutes, and then we'll check them again. And we're back. Let's give them another poke. Almost there. I'm going to give them another minute, and then I think they'll be perfect. All right, hopefully our last pokes. Nice. We'll do 2 just for good measure. Nice. The only thing coming out with our toothpick is a little bit of crumb. So, if your muffins cook faster or slower than mine, don't be alarmed. One big factor that will play into it is how much banana you had in them. So if you used a little bit more banana, your batter is going to be a little more moist and it'll take just a little bit longer for them to be cooked through. Or if you use slightly less banana, they might be cooked right at the 18-minute mark. So just start at 18 minutes and go by 1 or 2 minute increments after that once you do the first test, if they are not done yet. I'm super excited to try these, but we have to wait for them to cool down. So pop these out on a wire rack or just get them out of your muffin tin and let them cool for about 15 minutes, and then I'll be back with you guys and we'll give these a taste test. I'm so excited. Are you guys ready for this muffin? I'm so ready for this muffin. It's still nice and warm. As the muffin cools, it'll stick less to your muffin liner. Okay, let's give it a try. Now that is a treat. It's got a little bit of that stickiness to it from the peanut butter. They're not sticky like undercooked muffins. It's just from the stickiness of the peanut butter, but they're sweet from the banana and the sugar, and then there's a little bit of saltiness again from the peanut butter and that little bit of salt that we added into it, and it's wonderful. In that second bite there, I got one of those little flavor fireworks I mentioned to you guys where the peanut butter and the brown sugar didn't break down all the way, and you can kind of see them in the cross section of your muffin. There's going to be some darker spots where you hit one of those nuggets. That is a true treasure. I could brag on these all day, but you guys are going to have to go make them for yourself and let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'd love to know how they turned out for you guys. Did you add chocolate chips or nuts to them? Let me know, try it out. But thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos from me, hit that subscribe button and that bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.